If you're constantly hungry, thinking about food between meals, feeling like you can't get full, snacking your way through the day, the problem isn't that you just need to ignore hunger signals and keep eating less in order to lose weight. Chronic hunger has 5 specific biological drivers. Each one has peer-reviewed research behind it. Once you know which one is firing, you can address it directly. Let me walk you through them. Hunger is a signal from your body asking for something specific. Your body doesn't hate you. It's asking for something you're not giving it, usually protein, blood sugar stability, adequate sleep, or actual food volume. The signal keeps firing until the underlying need is met. Trying to white knuckle through chronic hunger while trying to lose weight is like ignoring the fuel light in your car and hoping the problem resolves itself. It doesn't, and you just crash somewhere less convenient. The 5 causes I'm about to walk you through each have a specific mechanism, a specific signal, and a specific fix. Most people have 2 or 3 of them firing all at once. Identify yours, and constant hunger dissolves. In quick context, I'm not a doctor, I'm a functional nutrition coach. I've watched hundreds of clients trying to lose weight, discovered that their constant hunger was actually a protein deficit or a sleep-driven ghrelin spike. So cause number 1, this is the one nobody talks about, and it's probably the biggest driver, the protein leverage hypothesis. Humans have an evolved appetite specifically for protein, not for calories in general, for protein. Your brain will keep driving you to eat until protein needs are met, regardless of total calories consumed. Now here's the problem. Modern ultra-processed food is protein diluted. A typical processed diet is 10 to 12% protein. Ancestral diets were 15 to 18%. When your food is diluted with fat and refined carbs, you have to eat more of it to reach your protein target. You end up overeating calories chasing protein you never quite get. And here's the evidence. Stephen Simpson and David Rubenheimer at the University of Sydney formalized this in obesity reviews in 2005. It's been replicated in adults and children multiple times since. The clearest experimental proof is Kevin Hall's NIH randomized controlled trials from 2019. 2 groups ate the same calories, same fat, same sugar. The ultra-processed group still ate 508 more calories per day than the whole food group. Nobody knew they were doing it. That's protein leverage firing. So here's how you know you need to be prioritizing more protein-dense foods. If you're constantly snacking despite eating enough calories, craving something after a meal but not knowing what, or if you have a sweet craving that doesn't ever get satisfied. So here's the fix. 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of your goal body weight. Front-loaded at breakfast with 30 to 40 grams. The constant hunger dissolves within a few days. Cause number 2 is blood sugar volatility. When you eat a high glycemic meal, refined carbs, sugar, liquid calories, your blood sugar spikes. Insulin surges to bring it back down, then blood sugar crashes below where it started. Your body reads that crash as an emergency. Cortisol rises, ghrelin rises, which is your hunger hormone. You feel intense hunger 2 to 3 hours after a meal, even though you just ate. The hunger is real. It's not psychological. It's your body trying to correct a physiological emergency. Here's the evidence. A study from David Ludwig at Harvard gave adolescents a high glycemic breakfast versus a low glycemic breakfast. The high glycemic group ate 81% more calories at lunch, driven by the crash and the hormonal cascade that followed. So here's the signal you need to be aware of. If you're hangry 2 to 3 hours after eating, if you have afternoon energy crashes, or if you feel shaky if you miss a meal, or if you have cravings for quick carbs specifically. And here's the best fix that I've seen. Meal sequencing. Protein and fiber before carbs. Eliminate liquid calories. Choose low glycemic carbs, legumes, whole grains, fruit with the fiber intact over refined ones. Same food, different order gives you a completely different result. And cause number 3, sleep-driven hormone dysregulation. Sleep deprivation directly affects the 2 hormones that control hunger and fullness. Ghrelin, the hunger hormone, goes up. Leptin, the fullness hormone, goes down. The combined effect is you feel like you haven't eaten even after a meal. It also drives specific cravings, not for salmon and vegetables, for calorie-dense processed food. Your brain is looking for quick fuel because it thinks you're in survival mode. The evidence is from Karen Spiegel's research from Chicago, published in the Annals of Internal Medicine, tested participants with 2 nights of restricted sleep. Ghrelin rose 28%, leptin dropped 18%, hunger ratings up 24%, just in 2 nights. So here's what to look for. Are you hungrier after a bad night of sleep? Are you craving junk food specifically on tired days? Do you have a late night eating pattern? The fix is obvious. 7 to 9 hours of sleep with a consistent bedtime, keep the room cool, 60 minutes before bed, no screens, morning sunlight to lock in the circadian rhythm. This is the highest ROI intervention on the list for most people. And cause number 4, dopamine-driven hedonic hunger. This one's subtle. Ultra-processed foods are engineered to hit calorie-dense, sensory-optimal targets that hijack your brain's reward pathways. Once your brain learns to expect that dopamine hit from food, regular food doesn't feel satisfying anymore. You feel hungry when what you're really feeling is dopamine seeking. Homeostatic hunger, real physiological need, versus hedonic hunger, which is reward seeking. They feel the same, but they're not. The evidence is again from Kevin Hall's NIH study. Same calories between the two groups, and the ultra-processed group still overate. That's protein leverage and hedonic hunger firing at the same time. Nora Volkow at NIH has documented food reward brain patterns similar to substance dependence. So here's the signal to look for. Eating for taste or experience rather than fullness. Feeling hungry 30 minutes after a large meal, or specific food cravings for a specific food. Here's the best fix I've seen, and this typically is what our clients start with for so many reasons, but one of the main reasons is to regulate hunger hormones in a fat loss phase. We'll do a 30-day elimination of ultra-processed foods. The first 10 days are hard. By day 20, whole foods start tasting good again. The reward system rewires. It's not permanent, but often necessary in the short term. And cause number 5, fiber deficit. By far the most common considering a standard American diet. Fiber activates stretch receptors in your gut that signal fullness. Fiber also feeds beneficial gut bacteria that produce short-chain fatty acids, which further activate satiety hormones. The average American eats 12 to 15 grams of fiber per day, and the gut needs 25 to 35 grams to signal full. If you're never feeling full, even after large meals, you have constipation, or you feel like you're constantly grazing without satisfaction, try increasing your fiber intake. Legumes, vegetables, berries, whole grains, chia seeds, increase gradually to 30 to 40 grams per day over 2 to 3 weeks. Fullness rewrites itself once your gut has enough material to work with. So there's the 5 causes. Look at your own life and ask which ones apply. Protein leverage, blood sugar volatility, sleep and hormones, dopamine hunger, fiber deficit. Most people have 2 or 3 of these firing at once. Start with protein and sleep. Those two alone resolve the majority of chronic hunger for most people, and then work down the list. If you take one thing from this video, take this. Chronic hunger, especially in a fat loss phase, is your body asking for something specific. Identify the mechanism firing and the hunger resolves. You don't just need to accept constant hunger when you're trying to lose weight. This is about biology getting what it needs. And if you want to start asking better questions about your own body and finally get to the root of your chronic health issues, make sure to subscribe. We're on a mission to help 1 million people get off symptom managing medication and finally heal at the root cause. Click subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And if you're looking for additional support working with our functional practice, click the link in the description and schedule a free consultation.